years back, when I and Amisha were looking at starting TRRAIN, Trust for Retailers and Retail Associates of India, we were talking to associates and multiple statements came in, but one statement is what has led here. And this statement was, हम society के लिए काम करते हैं, society हमको अपना नहीं मानती. We work for the society and the community, but the community doesn't include us. And the key word that we caught from there was inclusion. And actually it was sparking on us saying, how do we really make this inclusion work in an industry which is 12 million retailers and 46 million people working? Close to about 220 million Indians are dependent on the retail industry directly. If I take the logistics and rest of them, there are millions and millions of them. It's a very large industry, maybe second after agriculture. The only country in the world which has 12 million retailers for a 1.4 billion population. We are so densely populated. So what do we do for inclusion? And we were struggling. I happened to go to Hyderabad to meet Meera Shenoy, who was running Youth for Job, and to invite her as a board member. And I saw the program that she was running, and that inspired me. And we said, hey, can we start inclusion like this? Can the inclusion program start with including persons with disability into our retail ecosystem? So we did the first batch in 2011 with about 22 youth, all orthopedically challenged. We got them into HyperCity. I was also part of HyperCity as a chairman. In 3 months, 16 of them got promoted as cashiers. 3 months, ladies and gentlemen. And it amazed us to say, what a performance. We took them because of the challenges that we saw in them, but we kept them because of the ability. And that was amazing for us. So our journey of inclusion in TRRAIN began with this. And we have not looked back. 22 in the first year, 50 in the second year, 100 in the third year, 200 in the fourth year. By last week, we have skilled 27,000 odd persons with disability. If everything goes right, this year alone we'll do 6,000. Okay, and this looks very large, but let me tell you, this is not even a needle in a haystack. It's so small, so small, so small that sometimes I feel that in my lifetime will we be really able to make an impact of 1%. I don't know, but that's something that we will see. By the end of the day, maybe we'll find some solution. As we started moving, we also had IKEA, who was opening its first door in Hyderabad, and IKEA met us and said, you run this program, why can't you, UNDP, Disha, run a program where you can actually skill women, because we are a gender equal company, we require 50% women for all the work that we do. Fabulous. So Amisha and team got into, and we skilled 250 girls. IKEA took 125 as they promised, and we took 125 into the ecosystem of retail. What a fabulous start. And I was talking to Amisha and I said, Amisha, this cannot be just IKEA. This has to be for the industry. This has to be for the world of retail within the country. And ladies and gentlemen, we started in 2018. First year we did 800 and COVID hit us. We still continue to do online. And as of now, we have done about 9,000 girls. If everything goes right, this year we'll do 3,500 girls who actually will go into the retail ecosystem. Look at the opportunity. 46 million people work in retail. More than 1 million people work in modern retail. More than 1 million people work in modern retail. And modern retail is growing at 30-35%, including new stores, which means we're adding over 250,000 every year. And that's a huge, huge opportunity. And don't forget, retail is the only industry which can actually get you people whom the parents as a society feel are not worth. A lot of them tell me, my parents telling, padha likha nahi hai na, jaake dukaan mein kaam karo. Because you're not educated, go and work in a retail shop. That's all you require to start. You know, somebody's push. And let's not forget, the world's largest retailer, Walmart, the CEO of Walmart, Doug McMillon, started as a loader in the warehouse. So this is an industry which can bring people from the bottom and take them to the top. I started my journey as a store manager in Shoppers Stop in 1991 as a first employee. And today we have crossed 50,000 or 51,000 people across who have come and gone. But that's the influence that you do. Also, the average person with disability youth from Punk or from the women's program is now drawing a startup salary of about 12,500 rupees, 12,700 or so, which has grown by about 12% over the last 2 years. But what is very, very interesting is their family income is about $150, okay, per month, which is roughly about 12,000, which actually means that a girl who gets an employment or a youth from the Punk program who gets an employment is able to double the family income on the day one. That really changes. Just imagine all of us, whatever income we have. If our income doubles, what happens? You cross the Maslow's law. You cross everything and you start looking at disposable income, pay back debts, so many things. Remember 4 years after we started, I was talking to somebody who got a job. So I asked him, this was in our Santa Cruz Center, "Kya kiya paise ka?" He says that I bought a pant. That was shocking for me. He said, "I never worn a pant. My dream was to buy a pant." I spoke to other girl and said, "What did you do with your money?" She said, "We got a roof on the head." So I thought roof on the head must be some pakkat, the tin sheets or our imagination. People living in the cities, we can only imagine that. And then she told me, "No, we didn't have a roof, so I put a blue tarpaulin on our roof." That's the difference. So today I was thinking, what have we done in the last 10 years? And what's the kind of return that the society gets? We have trained about 27,000. I'm going to round it off just for interest. In the last 10 years, we have spent 50 crores as an input cost to ensure that these kids get their jobs, get skilled, and create a livelihood for them. In the next 10 years, these kids are going to earn 3,000 crores. Can you look at the comparison? We have invested 50 crores, we means us, donors, partners, all of you together, and these kids will add 3,000 crores to the ecosystem in the next 10 years. Tell me one investment in the world, one investment which can actually do something like this. I can't see an investment which can give you so many times multiple just because you have created livelihood and created inclusion. So ladies and gentlemen, that is inclusion for us. And this is just the beginning of what we want to do. And Ekam is the program that we have started off because to me, to bring retail together is a huge opportunity. And there was no way TRRAIN could do it alone. I mean, if we have to do it, we have to do it with a partner like RAI. And there was no way that creating a program like this and getting somebody like Rekha ji come here and bless the program. Some of you who are coming from large organizations have supported us in making this program a big success. So where do we take it from here? If we have to create so many million jobs, it's important for the retail industry to participate. When we started in 2011, there were only 3 companies who were taking such employees. It was all in the QSR area. As I'm talking to you, there are 500 corporates, and many of you are sitting here, from Vishal Megamart to Reliance to Titan to Shopper Stop to Landmark Group, all of you are sitting here, from 3 to 500. But the challenge we had was, at 12,700 salary, when we say average, the town salary is about 15,000 and salaries in their hometown is about 9,500 to 10,000. So when you have this kind of disparity, we said if you bring them into the urban centers, and even if you pay them 13,000, 14,000, their life is not good. Because if you're staying in Jayanagar and if you have to go to Whitefield, you know what happens. If you're staying in Kandivali and you have to go to Palladium Mall, you know what happens. I'm so happy that in the last 5 years, post-pandemic, we have more than 1,500 retailers in smaller towns who have started employing. Although their salary they pay is about 9,500, but let me tell you, 9,500 living with your parents in a Dharwad is much better than getting 15,000 salary in coming to Bangalore and working. So yes, it is low, but it makes a huge difference to the family. So what are we looking at? We are saying, can we all together firstly influence the modern retail ecosystem? Because modern retail ecosystem is still very small. This may look like large numbers. I mean, 4 months back, Economic Times did a research and put out a small table of 10 of the retailers who are hiring people. The 10 retailers put together are at about 0.8%. 0.8%. So on 100, you have less than 1% employed, whether it is persons with disability. Women is about 22%. In a country which has 50% women, we have 22% of the workforce, which is women. So the inclusion opportunity is very, very large. But it has to start from the top and has to start from the bottom. My younger daughter keeps saying, "Dad, the mind has to click and the heart has to tick." Okay, for mind to click, it is important that the top management actually takes this as an ownership and takes this as an agenda. For the heart to click, the whole organization has to work. Because we always feel 1% inclusion. We talk of getting 1% people in, 2% reservations. But it's not about the 2% at all. It's about the 98%. Do you realize when 2% people come in and 98% people get influenced, what happens to a community and society? It's unbelievable. Because they teach us many things that we don't know. Many times we walk around and see people like that, we are blinded. We don't even realize that there is a need for a community to be developed like this. So there's a huge opportunity. Now, you may say, oh, I'm an HR person, what can I do? Oh, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. Just showcase these people and their capabilities and the capacity. We know, and we have documentary evidence to say that a youth from a persons with disability part of our program is delivering about 1.3 to 1.4 times the productivity of any other person. So don't take them for the disability, take them for the ability. Just look at commercial sense. If somebody is delivering you 140% of the productivity compared to anything else. Now that's the reason you should take it. So please promote that. All of you are on social media. Even in this hall, there are 250 people. If I look at each of your followers, I think we'll reach 1 million followers right now. If you can't do anything, at least propagate this. Talk about inclusion to everybody. If you're part of HR, do a payroll program, encourage the 98% to contribute to either it is punk or it is some other NGO where actually they can support and take this to the next level. Because don't forget that 27 million such Indians who are under the PWD category. But this is the government figure, with all due respect. Our own estimate, all the NGO world and people work in this sector, our estimate is it is about 70 to 75 million. So you're talking of a very large number of such countrymen who are there who can really be included, not for their disabilities, but for the abilities, because there is documentary evidence, it makes a huge difference. The second thing is, the attrition in the industry is depending on whom you're talking. I mean, in a good circle, we say it's 26%. If you're slightly outside, you don't want the press to catch, we say 65%. But this could range anywhere from 25% to 120%. 120%. And when you look at attrition of our PWD youth coming from punk, their attrition is less than 40%. And many of them, the attrition is because of reasons of location, accommodation, and such challenges that they have. So when they stay for a year and a half, I know of somebody who joined HyperCity who was there for 11 years. There are lots of them who are there for 8 years, 10 years, 11 years. So when they work for such a long time, you know what happens to the customers? We have documentary evidence, the customers telling us, I go to that store of yours and not this store of yours because there the cashiers are your speech and hearing impaired youth, deaf. And in fact, one customer wrote back and spoke to us and said, I felt so bad. I used to complain to the store manager that why is this cashier so silent? He's always smiling but never talks. I say good morning, he doesn't respond. And then I was told that he is a speech and hearing impaired, he's a deaf youth. But amazing service, amazing service. So I think that's the opportunity. If we have to develop retail as an inclusive community, okay, we have to get everybody part of it. We have started with persons with disability, we have started the women's program. And of course, there is a lot of talk of saying, how can we get LGBTQ? I think the industry has to be prepared because it's taken us 10 years for 500 corporates and 1,500 retailers to start including them. So ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important part and I must thank each one of you who have come here because the very fact that you have taken out time from your busy schedule and are sitting in front of us, I think you have taken the first step. Yeah, and the first step is the most important. Once you take a first step with 200 people together, the last step becomes very easy. Unless you have a perfect start, you can never win a race. And I think this is the beginning of what we want to do together. And no better organization than RAI to work with because it's an association which works with modern retailers and all the modern retailers in the country are part of it. So what next? I think the whole day we have interesting sessions. Please participate, ask us questions. If you have some suggestion, please do that. I have a dream, and this happened about a year and a half back. As part of the Ashoka Fellow program, we were doing a program to say where can TRRAIN go? What can we do in women's area and what can we do in the TRRAIN punk arena? And now that we know we have an online program, during COVID we didn't allow us to sit idle. We actually created a program. We still trained about 2,500 youth. But serious challenges. But there's so much opportunity. So मुझसे निकल गया कि यार let's do 1 million youth in the next 10 years. Yeah, now that's got stuck. It's got stuck. And why it's got stuck is this year we'll do 10,000. 10,000 in a year and I'm saying 10 lakhs in 10 years. It's absolutely stupid. It's absolutely unthinkable. But I want to think. Not because I'm standing on the stage, because I have 250 people who are sitting here. Can we together think, and maybe by the end of the day we'll have something. I know the goal, I don't know the path. I don't have a strategy. I don't know how to do it. Because when I put the number, we spent close to about 20,000 because it's a residential program, 20,000 rupees per youth. Suddenly it looks at 2,000 crores. Nagesh, are you mad? You're going to get 2,000 crores to skill 1 million youth? Yeah, but when we started, I and Amisha were thinking, we said, Amisha, we require 5 crores. And we were saying, oh, how can we get 5 crores? We have not seen 5 crores together other than business. Okay, and this year, if everything goes right, maybe we'll hit 20 crores. So that's the power of inclusion. So I just want to once again welcome each one of you. Thank you for participating. Thanks the sponsor for coming in here. And let me tell you, when we do 1 million, and if Kumar Rajgopal and Amisha calls me back 10 years down the line, I want to be standing on the stage and saying, yes, we have done 1 million. And it's not difficult to do it if all of us join together. Once again, welcome, and thank you, Rekha ji. Thank you very much. Thank you.